This is a free download from the BBC. For more information, go to bbc.co.uk/podcasts.
Hello, dear listener. This is Iain Lee from BBC Three Counties Radio. Thank you so much for downloading another podcast. I know there wasn't one last week. I don't know why. I do know why. There was a miscommunication. Basically, Kelly Betts did not follow my orders, so she's been sacked. And Sophie Solari is here.
Hi.
And you're doing it, and this will go out, won't it?
Yes, absolutely 100%.
This week, the podcast is a little bit different. We've had so much good stuff this week, and that's not me blowing my own trumpet, partly because I don't have one. But there have been so many good bits and pieces that we thought we'd change the podcast ever so slightly. So, let's kick off, shall we? What do we got first? Hand me the bit of paper. We'll keep this bit in.
Well, this week, Splashback.
Splashback? Was this the menu? Is this how we're doing the menu?
Yeah, ignore the bits that are in red.
Splashback, EDL, and Milton Keynes Harvard University.
Yes.
What a show.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'm very excited that the best TV show in the world, Splash, is back. Splashback. Do you see? We kept making that joke all week. Don't say anything, Sophie.
It doesn't get tiring. It doesn't get tiring, though, does it?
Don't. You do. Anyway.
Sorry.
While I'm very excited about Splashback, some of our listeners are not, because they use the Inspire pool in Luton that will be closed for a couple of days a week while this show is filmed. Well, we got Trevor Holden on. He's the Chief Executive of Luton Borough Council. I asked him, would the people who'd spent money already get their money back? Did he know the answer? Have a listen.
You've got chocolate on your lip, by the way.
Trevor, will parents who are affected by this be getting any form of refund?
Ian, good morning. Well, first off, we've got a lot longer planning time this time. We're working with the clubs. I say we, Active Luton are working with the clubs to make sure that we can reschedule as far as we can reschedule to minimise the disruption. Last time it was a much shorter notice period, and I'm not sure what arrangements Active Luton are putting in place for people who are disadvantaged.
Because it's not fair, is it? If someone like that lady who was speaking to Justin is paying £100 a month and not being able to get full use of the facilities, then logic would imply that she should get some form of cash back, shouldn't she?
Hey, I think you've got to look at, this is a £26 million facility, as you rightly said, opened last year, paid for by the people of Luton. And last year we had such an upsurge in use. This is all about health and activity for everybody across Luton. So the more people we can encourage, be they professional club swimmers or people who are just going along to get fitter,
yes. And
Splash is a really, really good way of promoting it.
But you seem to have very carefully avoided the question there. If she's spending £100 a month on her kids coming there and she's not getting full use of the facilities, then she should get some of the money back, shouldn't she?
No, I didn't avoid the question. I said right off from the start, Active Luton are planning to reschedule as much of the training facilities as possible. And I don't know what arrangements they've got in place with the individual clubs, but there's a much longer lead-in time to plan to just make sure the disruption is as minimal as possible.
Trevor, again, with the greatest respect, you are avoiding the question. I'll try it again. If that lady is paying £100 a month for her children to swim at that pool and she is being denied access to that pool that she is paying for, then she is surely entitled to some... If she's not getting the service that she's paid for, then surely she's entitled to some form of money back, isn't she?
Ian, let me try again. £26 million pool, paid for by the people of Luton. This is a really, really good opportunity to get Luton on the map for all the right reasons.
Trevor, you're ignoring the question. You're ignoring you're not answering the question.
And encourage people to use the facilities.
But they can't use the facilities at certain points.
If you just kind of bear with me a minute.
Well, if you answer the question, Trevor, let's see.
If Active Luton are planning, which they are, to minimise the disruption, that's a really good thing.
But there will be disruption that will affect them, so she should be receive some form of compensation for the disruption for a service that she has paid for and she's not getting.
I can't believe you're turning such a positive thing into a negative thing.
Trevor, I was going to... Trevor.
This is a really, really good thing for the town. Gets Luton on the map for all the right reasons.
Trevor.
And as I've said to you a couple of times, Active Luton are working with the clubs and the like.
Trevor.
I can't tell you the detail of that because I don't know.
You've obviously not not been listening to the show, the whole morning we've been celebrating the Splash is coming back. This interview was going to be a whole celebration of the fact that Splash is coming back. But the fact that you have avoided answering one very, very simple question means that it hasn't been about that.
Hey, what about if I just put it to you again? Active Luton.
No, don't say the same thing, Trevor, because you're not saying anything. Trevor, Mr. Holden.
I don't know.
Mr. Holden.
Tell you what I don't know.
I will ask you the question. I'll ask you the question one more time, Mr. Holden.
It won't help me know the answer. I'm telling you.
You're not listening. You've not listened to the question, Mr. Holden. You've not listened to the question.
Say the question again slowly.
Okay, I will do, and really try and focus this time, Mr. Holden. If someone is paying £100 for a service they are not getting, then surely they are entitled to some form of cash back. I'm not asking about Active Luton. I'm not asking about what's happening. I'm asking that surely they're entitled to some form of recompense. That seems obvious in the world of business, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't tell you what provision Active Luton...
I'm not asking what the provision is. Again, you're not listening. I'm asking surely the basic principle that they are entitled to some form of money back.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to plan this time to reduce the mitigation.
But, Mr. Holden, if you're not going to answer the question, we'll have to end it here, I'm afraid.
Well, that's disappointing because this is a really, really good...
I know, and we've been celebrating it all morning, and your inability to answer one simple question about how your customers are affected is really disappointing.
Really, really good. This is going to be a really good event for the town.
Mr. Holden, we have been celebrating it this morning. We will continue to celebrate it this morning. But the fact that you are unable to address the concerns of your customers, your residents, your clients, I think is a little bit rude and a little bit arrogant, to be honest.
No, I don't think. I think I've been really, really clear.
You've not answered the question, Trevor.
Active Luton are planning to mitigate the impact as far as possible.
No, what you said is Active Luton are going to offer the least disruption possible. You've not talked about the compensation for your customers.
I've also said I can't tell you what detailed arrangements are in place because I don't know the detailed arrangements.
That wasn't the question. That wasn't the question, Mr. Holden.
But I can't answer your question. I've told you that I don't know the answer.
Okay. Well,
what arrangements?
That wasn't, Mr. Holden. The question wasn't.
What I do know is.
I'm really sorry, Mr. Holden. We're not going to have the puff again. The question wasn't what arrangements are in place. The question is surely people are entitled. That was the question. It wasn't about what arrangements are in place. Well, Trevor, well done. Trevor Holden, Chief Executive of Luton Borough Council. You've turned what was a celebratory example of what is wonderful about Luton and the wonderful fact that we are attracting huge TV companies. You've turned that into something completely different, ignoring the concerns of your residents and your customers. Oh, dear.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Big news this week as Luton resident Tommy Robinson announced he was stepping down as leader of the EDL. Well, of course, we had to talk about it. What you're about to hear is a cracking interview from Paul Scoynes with co-founder of the EDL, Kevin Carroll.
We've left the English Defence League, myself and Tommy Robinson, because we believe the time is right to make the transition from a street protest movement, which we believe only has a certain shelf life. We believe it's achieved its goals, it's got us to where we are today, and it's been reverberating around the whole globe. It's a global brand name, the English Defence League. Who better to work with Muslim organisations in challenging Islamist extremism and Nazism than two lads like ourselves that have founded an organisation that have proved our mettle, if you like, and are prepared to put their heads on the block. Because, my friend, listen, our lives are ruined. They have been. The death threats, the attacks, the violence, the fear, the intimidation. It's constant.
But that's what some of the Muslim communities in this country feel they've received from the English Defence League.
Yeah, but we were.
You've got to accept that.
Well, yeah, and I apologise for any innocent Muslims that have felt intimidated by the English Defence League, right? But you have to remember, just imagine how many non-Muslims are scared about... I mean, look, we've got Lee Rigby, we've got 7-7.
But all of these are minorities. They're tiny minorities, in the same way that your organisation is a minority.
Yeah, but it's not a tiny minority. If you were being brutally honest, right? If you were being brutally honest, you would have to say, do you honestly believe that what we're saying, as like Tommy says, that a lot of the people won't agree with the tactics, and they won't want to come onto street protests because they think, oh no, I'm not for that. I agree with what you're saying, 100%. But the street thing, the way it goes on, is not for us. That's millions.
But you say it's a global brand name, but it's a global brand name you've lost control of because you yourself say that it's been infiltrated by far-right groups.
No. We've not lost control of it. We still had control of it. This is what we're saying.
But Tommy said he didn't want to be the face of an organisation.
An organisation that allows them to come in as soon as we stop showing up. Now, you have to get it right. What we're saying is that unless we attend every single demonstration, these parasitical vultures, right, these neo-Nazi types, fascist, racist, whatever you want to call them, these splinter groups, well, they're always in the wings. They'd be there, but they couldn't come in.
You've created a monster, haven't you? Because you've basically created a group which is now, as you said, a honeypot to these sorts of groups, and you've just said, I don't want to do that anymore, and you've walked away.
No, what we've got is we've got an organised structure of regional organisers across the country. That's our structure, and then we have divisional leaders.
They're not working, are they?
No, but
they're not keeping those bad people out.
No, but what we're saying is to the regional organisers, we've got a big meeting with them tomorrow. So what we're saying to them is, look, it falls upon you now to remain true to what our core message was, which is non-violent. But we believe that it's run its course.
You've made it a busted flush, haven't you? By leaving.
Well,
the co-founders say we don't believe in this anymore. You're asking them to pull out.
No,
that's what Quilliam have said. Quilliam said that, and you said we'd like people to follow our lead.
We're asking the genuine supporters.
So what's that going to leave?
The core message.
Well, what's that going to leave, though? The not genuine supporters under the old guise of the EDL.
No, but if that just leaves the extremists and the Nazis and the neo-Nazis and all the racists, then they were always there. And
you've created a nice little banner for them to stand on.
No, because we've took preventative measures to counter that already. We've maintained control of the website, so they can't use that, and the fan page, so they can't use that. And that is their platform to get it out there to the world and to the 160,000 people plus on it. So they can't use that.
Well, that was our political reporter, Paul Scoyne, speaking to Kevin Carroll last night. I'm joined now by Safian Sadiq, who is the chair of the Berry Park Contingency Group, which was set up in reaction to the formation of the EDL. What's your reaction to the news, Safian?
It's, to some extent, I would say it is a positive piece of news that we can look at it and think that there is some hope in the future for places like Luton to have a peaceful future, a more harmonious future. But I think listening to this interview, which I think sheds more light on some of their views and the way they're not stepping back from the fact that neither of them are apologising or stepping back and saying, I will stand up and say I was wrong. These views are harsh. I was pushing hate in communities. They're not saying that.
They say that their position was always against radical Islam as opposed to moderate Islam.
Which is not true. They've been in towns like Luton, and they've stood up against all members of the community. They've not stood up against just the radical elements. If they wanted to do that, they could have done that. They've gone around all of Britain causing hate, intolerance. As a result, it's led to people being hurt, people being injured. It's led to young people in prison, young people on both sides in prison because of the hate they're pushing.
Quilliam have said that there is a problem with radical Muslims in Luton itself. Well, how would you react to that?
And I would agree that there is a problem. We cannot deny that there's a problem, but I think just the way Kevin mentioned, there's parasitical vultures perhaps on both sides. And there is a possibility that we can work together. But I think what's important here is Tommy and Kevin, neither of them are stepping back and saying that, you know what, I'm sorry for all the pain that I've caused in the last few years. Both of them, they've said they're moving away. I really hope that it's a step in the right direction. But there is no preventative measures, like your reporter said. I don't think taking away the fan page of these from these parasitical vultures is a solution. We're now going to have a group of people that we've always said that were pro-Nazi. They were pro-Nazi when they came Luton, making Nazi chants and salutes, and they're pro-Nazi at the moment. And I think it's about time that he's acknowledged that he's got a huge problem. He's created a monster, but now this monster's going to go around Britain actually pushing and really causing more harm and damage because it's got no leadership.
Is it going to do? There are three things I could see that could happen to the EDL. One is a responsible leader comes in and takes it over and tries to keep it under control. The second one is it does get taken over by neo-Nazis and fascists and becomes even more unpleasant. Or the third thing is it just dies, because without Tommy Robinson and Kevin Carroll pushing it, it just collapses. Is that not a potential?
There's a hope that it does collapse, and I sincerely hope it does collapse, but the chance of finding a responsible person within the EDL, that's absolutely ludicrous, because it's full of people that are pushing the same views. These are mad people, these are disenchanted people that are exactly the same as the people on the opposite side that they're fighting against.
Could you, as chair of the Berry Park Contingency Group, could you see yourself and your organisation cooperating with Quilliam?
We put our hand out to Tommy Robinson for the last 3 years, saying, sit down, let's talk, because we do not want to prepare our town every year for a ridiculous march that makes this town look like something in the Middle East, a Gaza Strip, with barricades and police and riot police on the streets. But he's refused to ever step forward and actually talk to us. That, for me, suggests the fact that it's not... And he's not saying it's a change of his view or a change of his opinion. All he is saying is he's taken a different approach. And with the elections coming up, there's a lot of speculation around why he might be doing what he's doing at the moment.
Why do you think he's doing it?
It could be possible that he's preparing himself, and he wants to keep all of his supporters, his genuine supporters. He might be preparing himself for the elections. And I think that's unfortunately a far more scary prospect for the people in Luton and communities like Luton, because he's trying to make his views more palatable, and they're not palatable. He has been pushing out views that are pushing hate and causing...
You say they're not palatable. There are lots of people listening to this now who do actually think that they are palatable, that they think that the kind of core message against extremism and against violence is actually valid.
I think whatever he says, there's parts of his message. I am standing up, and I've said time and time again, 100% behind extremism, 100% behind removing extremism from communities, removing grooming from communities, standing up for the fact that there should be a fair, equal process for everyone. We accept that there's parts of his manifesto and parts of what he says that are what the genuine British public or the white working class are feeling and are going through. And it's not to say that we totally disregard that. We do stand up and say that there are some valid points, but to push it in the way he pushes it and some of the messages that it comes with, he always has said that he is anti-Muslim. He slips up time and time again, because like last night he's turned around and he said it's only militant Islam, but 3 weeks ago, he was causing huge issues up in Stopsley when there was a charity football tournament.
But he's joined up with a Muslim organisation, or an organisation that has Muslim members.
And I hope, I'm a person of faith, and I really hope that this is a turning of a page, and tomorrow we will see a changed Tommy Robinson. But I do think that we have to step forward with caution. It doesn't mean that him going with Quilliam is somehow we've got a magical solution here that he's going to be more tolerant.
Finally, the Berry Park Contingency Group, or do you have a relationship with Quilliam? Would you be looking to start a relationship with Quilliam?
We're happy to start a relationship with anyone that is supporting the people of Luton, so we do not have to go through what we've been through in the last few years. And I hope that Quilliam and Tommy Robinson step forward if the parasitical vultures decide to set up a march without him in Luton. I really hope that they come in and step in between and try and make a difference to the community and really show some positive action, not just words.
Well, I've just been told that when Paul Scoins, our political reporter, was speaking to Kevin Carroll last night, the subject of possibly standing for some sort of election was raised. Kevin Carroll said, never say never. So it looks like it could be a possibility.
Unfortunately, yes.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A few weeks ago, we featured a story about a Milton Keynes college called the Harvard School. It's being sued by Harvard in America. They claim it's a copyright infringement. Well, we got the people that run that on a few weeks ago, and they told us about their court case. We were intrigued by some of the claims made on the website, so our reporter, Craig Lewis, investigated the Harvard School a little bit more. Interesting stuff that he found out. We got the leaders back in, and we put some of these accusations to them. Dr. Tina Beloveth Powerful, you join me again in the studio. I'm terribly sorry, sir. I've forgotten your name. How rude.
Yo, I'm Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Powerful.
Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Powerful. Let me just write that down. That's bad on my part. I apologise. Very rude. Now, you both join me in the studio. Remind me, Dr. Tina, the background of your case against Harvard. What was the problem there?
They claimed that we are infringing on the copyright.
And the Harvard School is spelt differently. There is an R missing. And why did you choose the name Harvard?
Like I had said earlier, that my grandfather bears the name Harvard. And because I am his very favourite, granddaughter.
Yes.
Yes, I decided when I opened this school in year 2010 to immortalize his name, just as a legacy, because he himself has left a legacy to us. Because like I had said earlier, that good name, they say, is better than silver and gold. So he probably might not have left estates to us, but he left a very good name.
And you've just handed me a book that you've written that contains a lot of the information about the case.
Yeah, the case. Everything that you need to know about the case is in this book.
Is in that book?
Titled, yes, My Story and My Song, and how to break the backbone of poverty, wealth creation strategies, and President Obama's $1 trillion speech.
It's all included in there.
Yes, that's on transformational leadership.
The good news for you is that life continues as normal. You've got a graduation ceremony at the Church of Christ, the Cornerstone, tomorrow, haven't you? Tell me about that. What's going to be happening there?
Well, a lot. I said earlier, today, or beyond as it is, our good God, our wonderful God, has enabled us, to train people, to train students who, under normal circumstances, are unable to obtain formal education. So I consider that to be a wonder. And if people think it's not a wonder, yes, they should come and see what the type of wonder that God has used us to, empower these people who not only have they become educated and learned, they have in fact become authors. And like I said earlier, they have, contributed immensely into this book. So they have, as it were, become authors themselves, not just educated.
Bible studies is one of the courses that Harvard offers. What other courses can the students take there?
Well, we have IT, we have law, we have business administration, we have banking and finance, but again, what this distinguishes us from other schools is that we have the Bible studies as a foundation of our studies.
How much do these courses cost? What are the prices?
$3,500 for home students. And for those coming from other parts of the world, international students, we have $5,500 for diploma courses, because they are, we have degrees, we have masters, and we have PhD by research.
So you do take on foreign students?
Yes, please.
How many foreign students do you have? Do you know?
We have online. We have online students and all that for now.
Because the website, I've been looking at your website, it's aimed at foreign students, isn't it? There's lots of information about foreign students and about visas and things like that. But we spoke to the Home Office, and they said that Harvard isn't on the list of organisations which sponsor migrants.
Yes, that's a very good point that you're making. Because, like I said, it's still a vibrant, a startup, a new school. So we're taking procedures, to affiliate, to ensure that we put everything in place.
But they're not in place at the moment, and your website does give very detailed information of how to come through customs, how to get visas, how to come through to the UK. But the Home Office says that you're not allowed to sponsor migrants, so you're breaking the law.
No, because they have not come in here. That's why I said that they're online. They are not yet in here into the country, so they are online students, as it were.
So there are no
by email. They are not. Yes, they are not yet here in the country.
Another thing I noticed on the website: the school claims to be accredited by the Institute of Administrative Management and the London Centre of Marketing. Is that correct?
They did not claim to have affiliated with them.
Right.
They said in the website, if you look closely, that they are about to, because we're just building the website, they're about to get accredited with them.
Okay, so you've spoken to them about that?
We've not spoken to. We're taking procedures. It's under process of doing that.
So you don't know that they're about to?
Pardon me?
You don't know that they're about to accredit you then, if you've not spoken to them?
No, we have somebody. We have Professor Leon Goldman, who has undertaken to, because that's what he promised to do.
We spoke to the Institute of Administrative Management and the London Centre of Marketing, and neither of those places had actually heard of the Harvard School at all.
Well, we have consulted with them.
They've not heard of you?
They might. I don't know whether they've heard about us, but again, they've been communicating to us because they have
They say they haven't ever heard of you, and the fact that you're implying on your website that you're accredited by them.
We didn't imply. If you read we didn't imply. Probably you're an English guy, so if you read your English very well, you understand that what we said.
But you could understand how it could be misleading
Pardon me?
You could understand how it could be misleading to have the name of the Institute of Administrative Management and the London Centre of Marketing on your website when these two organisations haven't heard of you.
What we're saying in essence is that we are planning to get them, get them accredit us.
Okay.
We have we have not gotten them accredit us, but we are in the process making procedures, taking practical steps to get them to accredit us.
So are you going to take that down?
I can't take it down because that you have not done anything does not mean you're going to do that.
What steps are you taking? Because as I said, they haven't heard of you.
Well, that they have not heard of me today does not mean that they will not hear about me tomorrow.
But you can't say that you're.
I'm about to. Means about to.
And how long has that been on the website for?
Well, it has just been as long as that year, 2011, when the professor...
It's been on there for 2 years, and in those 2 years, you've not made any moves to be accredited.
Because we are still looking for a place of our own. We're looking for a place to use, as a lecture venue. So we were trying to get because one of the procedures of getting accreditation is that you have to take practical steps to get 3 years 3 years of what is it called
rent accommodation.
Yes.
Well, it's funny you mentioned accommodation because the Harvard claims to have a central office at Ascot House in central Milton Keynes.
Yes.
But that's a flat.
A block of flats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the central office of a university. Mm-hmm. You also claim to have campuses at Christ the Cornerstone Church.
Yes.
And the Jesus Celebration Centre.
Yes.
But the church says you only rent out a room for 2 hours once a week, and the celebrations...
For 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yes,
it's not a campus, is it? Renting out a room for 3 hours a week.
That's the we lecture.
A campus to me implies. I hear the word campus. It implies to me several buildings with a lecture hall, with various other facilities available.
We have a very big. We have the Guildhall allocated to us, and the Guildhall takes 150 people, and with other small rooms which takes about 30 people. As it were. So it's a campus of its own that we do not have, and it is rented, and we pay for it.
Is this the Christ the Cornerstone Church you're talking about?
Yeah, Christ the Cornerstone Church.
We were told that only holds 45 people.
The big hall holds about 120.
And that's the one you're renting once a week, is it?
That's the one we rent, but again, we use the other two small, where we have, where we videoed, classrooms. We have other small, 2 small rooms, with 2 small halls, that...
in the Jesus Celebration Centre as well?
Pardon me?
In the Jesus Celebration Centre as well?
Yes.
Because they've told us that you have no connection. You have no connection with them.
We have receipts where that we have used to pay them.
When was the last time you paid them?
Well, because the last time we paid them...
Sometime last year.
No, we started this year. That was, yes, probably between January, February, March.
Okay.
Within January, February, March, we paid them and we have receipts to show for it.
These courses cost £3,500 for British students and £5,500 for foreign students. Where does the money go? Because it doesn't seem you have any facilities. You don't have a central office. You don't have a campus. So what is that money going on?
Yeah, that's we don't have. Can you take the question again, please?
Yeah, the £3,500 you're getting from British students, the £5,500 from foreign students. Where does that money go? Because you don't have a central office. You have a flat, which I'm assuming is the flat you live in. Is that correct?
The flat, we use it as our central correspondence office.
Okay.
Correspondence office.
Okay, and you don't have a campus. You rent a room once a week for 3 hours a week. So where does that 3.5...
Not a room. If you say a room, it's a very big hall.
Okay, you rent a very big room once a week.
Very big hall. Don't call it a room, because if you call it a room is just something like what we're staying.
Okay, a room that holds 150 people,
yes,
although they would...
A hall...
Okay.
A hall.
Okay, so you rent a hall once a week for a few hours. Where is that £3,500, £5,500
Ironically, it might surprise you to say that we train these ones free of charge.
Right.
Yeah, we just train them
but on the website, the prices are £3,500.
Yes, but you saw on the website too, where we said that there's scholarship.
Yeah,
there's scholarship. So you can go back to the website and see where it is written. There's a lot of scholarship for everybody, and we started them off with scholarship. So if you want to know more and to hear from the horse's mouth, you then come into tomorrow, because
we're talking to you now. We've got you here now, and you yourself
we're graduating them, so they're coming. So you come and interview them one-on-one to say, hey, that they said they trained you free. We trained them free of charge without taking any penny from them.
Did, when I asked you what the cost was, you did say £3,500.
It is, yes, that is, yes.
So where does that money go, that £3,500?
I said that is the cost, but we never charged any one of them.
So you've never charged anybody?
We have not charged those students that were graduating. Because
have you ever charged anybody?
I have not for now.
Then why do you have a price list on your website?
Because
tell me a price list?
Like you said, you had asked me, why do I have AIM in my website?
Yeah.
The same, if you're planning that you have not kicked off, when you're planning a planning stage, you put everything into place. So that is part of the preparation to get our kickstart to get it flying.
Okay, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. If you'd if you're tuning in to listen to the travelling news, I think we're going to drop that for a bit and just carry this on. I'm joined this morning by Dr. Tina Beloved-Powerful, who is from the Havard School in Milton Keynes. Your website also claims to have a Havard School library.
We said the library that is in Milton Keynes could, because the school, the Cornerstone, is very close to the Milton Keynes library. So we said the library is there for them.
So there isn't a school library. They can just go and use the public library.
They could use, because we're duplicating when the library is just there, because we're a startup. If you're a startup, you don't have everything. Gradually, you'll be getting in whatever you need.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you not think, though, that your website implies it's a proper college?
Pardon me?
Your website seems to imply, or does imply, that it is a proper professional college with libraries, with campuses, with a central office. But you don't have any of those things.
That is what it is, because we do have them. We have classes. We have, if you have more than 3 classes, you have yes. If you have more than 3 classrooms, you understand. It doesn't matter.
You have more than 3 classrooms.
Yes.
Where are your 3 classrooms?
We have one. We have at least 3.
Where are they?
We have 3 at Christ the Cornerstone Church.
Okay.
We have 3, more than 3. We have the 2 small halls, and we have the very big hall. And that is in Christ the Cornerstone Church. Now we're going to graduate our students.
Christ the Cornerstone say you only rent out 1 room.
It doesn't matter how. Yes, that's what they told you. But if you come in there, you will see where we use. Okay. We use a very big hall. That's why I'm inviting you to come and put your eyes into, not what somebody sits down and tell you, because I pay. I pay for it, and if I rent a place, it doesn't matter whether the place belongs to me, but as far as I pay for it, it belongs to me.
It's not a college, is it?
It is a college.
The website is slightly misleading, isn't it?
It's not at all. Not at all. Not in any way. Not in any form.
Well, in as much as it implies this is a professional college. That charges fees, that has facilities, that has libraries, that has campuses, that has a central office.
Yes.
It doesn't. It has a flat. It has use of a public library, and you rent a room in a church. That's not a university, is it?
Not a room in
You
the
rent
church.
a hall in a church.
I rent three. We have two small halls and one big hall. So what do you? When my former University of Buckingham, when they started in just a house.
Yep.
You know, when University of Buckingham, where I studied, which is about 30 years.
You don't have accreditation.
Hold it, please. When University of Buckingham, as a point of reference, when they started over 30 years ago, they started in just a house.
Yeah, but a house.
Just a house, a room.
But they
in a house.
At what point did they get accreditation?
So you can then invite them to ask them that.
Okay,
because I cannot go answering that because that's over 30 years ago.
Let's move outside of Havant for a second. You also operate the beloved International Ministries, which runs a Stop Youth Crime group.
Yes.
Can you explain why there's a letter from Mark Lancaster, MP, on your website?
That's a very brilliant question. Mark Lancaster, went to the same school, University of Buckingham, with me.
Yeah.
So,
why is there a letter on your website that he's asked you to take down over a year ago?
Just calm down because you asked me a question.
Yep.
So I answered. Okay. You answered, for me too. Yep. So Mark Lancaster has his, we went there, myself, my husband, and one of the guy that built the website, Mohsin.
Mo, the website guy.
Yes, Mohsin. So we went there. Navrita Atwal, the equality director, ought to have been there with us because Navrita Atwal, we had a lot in common to do with youth crimes. And if you had asked me, I would have brought a lot of documents that I did sign with Navrita Atwal, the equality of the director of Equality Council. So four of us were meant to meet Mark Lancaster to get him to empower, to assist us in getting a house because we were finding it difficult getting accommodation.
Why have you got a letter? The question is, why have you got a letter from Mark Lancaster, MP, on your website that he's asked you to take down over a year ago?
That is what I'm answering you now.
Okay.
I'm answering
Why have you not taken it down?
Because I'm not Mohsin, who has built the website for us, I cannot find him anywhere. And I am not, I can't find him anywhere to pull down the website because...
Not in a year.
Pardon me?
It's been a year.
Even up to now, if you call him the most guy, I have not seen him.
I don't know, Moz, so I'm not going to call him. But Mark Lancaster...
I can give you his number to look for him and call him to remove it himself. But Mark Lancaster gave me that and wrote it when we had a meeting with him.
We'll come on to why he wrote the letter in a second.
Yes.
In fact, I've got a statement from Mark. Mark Lancaster says, I'm always keen to support organisations in my constituency.
Okay.
And having been shown extensive details of Tina Beloved's community project, I wrote a letter of support.
That's brilliant.
The letter was written based on false information she had given me.
Okay.
And as it transpires, like many others, I believed what she told me and acted in good faith.
Okay.
Having discovered the truth, this is from Mark Lancaster MP, my office and I have made many attempts to have the letter removed from a website and are now following the correct legal paths in order to do so. So you gave Mark false information.
What is the false information? Because I need to know what the false information is.
The false information is that Navrita Atwal, who you mentioned, of MK Equality Council, is a governor of Agape Love Stop Youth Crimes.
Okay.
She's not, is she?
Pardon me?
She isn't, is she? Navrita Atwal is not a governor of Agape Love Stop Youth Crimes.
Navrita Atwal had...
She's not, is she?
A governor?
She's not a governor.
She's at the point that we went to meet him. She was one of the members of the board.
She's not a governor.
She was one of the coordinators. So I cannot say governor or not governor. She was one of the coordinators, and the four of us were to meet.
Tina.
We meet Mark Lancaster on the MP on that particular day. But unfortunately, Navrita had a meeting in London to go and she had a meeting in London and she could not come. But she came to my house and had this meeting, and she drafted the letter that I sent to Mark Lancaster. So it was Navrita that dictated the letter that I sent to Mark Lancaster. So you can't just come up immediately to say that the letter is no longer Mark. Okay, go on.
Before I read the next thing from Navrita,
yes,
do you want to come out and tell the truth?
Which truth?
That she isn't a governor.
She is. I have documents that says that we have had a lot to do in common. So I am here to authenticate that with a lot of written evidences. So that it's not just somebody when things are going all right for somebody and another person wants to wriggle out and say, hey, I'm no longer part of it. I'm no longer, because Harvard America is now suing Tina, or suing Harvard United Kingdom, everyone is now wriggling out and saying, hey, I'm no longer part and parcel of it. But I have authentic written evidences, not just one, from Navrita Atwal. And she came to my house too. Yeah, we're talking. Yes, so that it's not just you put me in the air to say, hey, you gave false, this, that, you gave false that, you gave false that. There's no false information because I have written evidences to show that at the point that we went to Mark Lancaster, our MP, that Navrita came to my house, Tina, I have written evidences.
Tina, stop shouting. Calm down.
I'm not shouting.
You are shouting a little bit.
Okay.
What written evidence?
I'm just making my point
I know
clear.
You don't need to make it so loudly.
Yes.
What written evidence have you got from Navrita that she was a governor of the Agape Love Stop Youth
Not
Crimes?
a question of she is a governor, when one or two people come together to say, yes, we are interested in this,
That doesn't make you a governor.
What do you call the person? She is,
You don't call her a governor. You call her an interested party.
She's an interested, so call it any way.
But the letter from Mark Lancaster said that she was a governor.
Which letter?
Because you told... We spoke to Navrita.
Yes.
She says she's never had any connection with any of your organisations.
That's brilliant. But she will now, when she has even her own signature signed, which I have, those documents.
And what do those documents say? What do they say exactly?
I can't say it offhand until you give me another opportunity to go and bring the documents.
I would love to see them.
Yes, it's important that you see them because that's the only way to authenticate the fact that she was, in fact, and indeed, part and parcel of this organization, and she is an interested party in this organization. So she has written, and she cannot just wriggle out and say, hey, I'm no longer, because Harvard America is fighting Harvard UK.
I don't think she's saying that because of the case with Harvard.
Okay.
I think she's saying that because she feels that her name has been used without her knowledge for your gain.
Okay, that's, without her knowledge, but what I'm now telling you that not only with her knowledge, but her written evidences and her signature, that we had meetings, several meetings in her office, not just in her coming to my house to authenticate that, but in her own office where, she had, you understand, that we had a lot in common, Navrita and I, that were...
Can we see that written evidence?
Look at some evidence, thank God.
You're showing me your book.
Yeah, excuse me, because...
You're showing me your book as evidence.
No, I'm not just showing you my book. I'm showing you Navrita Atwal's, where, because we had a lot in common. Look at Navrita. That's Navrita.
Show me a picture. Let's have a look.
That's Navrita there.
So that's Navrita.
That's Navrita.
And what's happening in that picture?
Well, she
it looks like a buffet. You're stood next to each other at a buffet.
I launched the Rule of Law book.
Okay.
And Navrita was there.
You're in a queue at a buffet.
Pardon me?
It looks like you're in a queue at a buffet.
I said I launched a book.
Okay.
And she was in attendance to that, Rule of Law book.
That doesn't make her a governor, does it?
We're not saying that she makes... I'm saying that she's interested and she has written a couple of, so that you don't put words into my mouth. No. I am here to tell you what happened and that I am here to defend it to any length and at any level.
Why are you being investigated by Milton Keynes Trading Standards?
Why what?
Why are you being investigated by Milton Keynes Trading Standards?
Why am I being investigated? You should ask them.
Well, I'm asking you.
No, you should ask them if they are investigating me.
Which they are?
Yes, they should. Then you ask them why they're investigating me.
So you are being investigated by Milton Keynes Trading Standards?
You are telling me that I'm being investigated.
Well, I know you are.
Because I have not heard from them.
You've not heard from them at all?
Yes. I'm
being told that Navrita has reported you to the police.
Wow, it's laughable. She has reported me to the... So when is the police coming?
I don't know, but you...
So the police, I am there. If he's reported me to the police, how long does it take police to come and
I don't know, because I know that Thames Valley Police are also investigating you, aren't they?
Okay, I've not seen them, however.
Okay, the police are investigating. MK Police has confirmed that the force is investigating Tina Beloved Powerful for fraud.
For fraud? And then is
that true?
That's just laughable.
This is your chance to be really honest get some of this off your chest.
That's very, very laughable. Laughable, cooked up stories.
Tina,
I tell you that whatever it takes me to prove them wrong, I will prove them wrong.
And if we've got this wrong, I humbly apologise. But this is, as a Christian, Tina, this is a really good chance to confess and to get everything off your chest. I'm going to ask you a direct question.
Yes, go on.
And in the eyes of God, can you answer this question honestly?
Yes.
Are Milton Keynes police investigating you?
I've never seen anyone. I've never heard from them. Before God and man, I've never heard from any police or written letter from police saying they're investigating me.
In the eyes of God?
Yes, before God and man.
Are Milton Keynes Trading Standards investigating you?
I don't know about that. If they are investigating me, they should come out open to investigate and tell me one-on-one, just like I cannot say that you have not spoken to me. Yes, so that we can trash out things. Yes, there has been a time. Well, that was a very long time ago that Milton Keynes, they wrote to say that, talked about the standard, whatever.
Trading standards. They wrote to you.
Yes.
When did they write to you?
That was before Harvard. That was before I had Harvard.
So what had you done in the past?
Hold the line. You asked me a question and you said, before God and man, so they wrote me at a point, and which I wrote back to tell them that to define what law is all about. Yep. To tell me the different, company law, what is company law and commercial law, which is more important. Because if you're just a lawyer, and to tell me which of the universities that you attended, for you to now stand to ask me, so they withdrew. That was before Harvard came. They withdrew. And I told them that you cannot just sit down to say, hey, that there has been copyright infringement. There has been copyright infringement. If you have evidences, you should come out. And they withdrew.
Would you mind? You've got your ceremony tomorrow, your graduation ceremony.
Yes, please.
Can we send a reporter along?
Your what?
Can we send a reporter along to see what's going on?
Yeah, that's what I said. I invited you. I gave you our invitation. I said, yes, come over. In fact, our Milton Keynes mayor, we invited him, so he'll be there too to see the work.
Mayor will be there.
Yeah, the mayor.
Okay.
Brian White. He'll be there to see what the kind of work we're doing in Milton Keynes.
Finally, because we are running out of time. Final question.
Go on.
Do you think you're misleading people?
Not at all. Not in any form, not in any manner. Not in any form, not in any manner. You will come and hear from the students themselves who have never gone to school in their lives, but who had the opportunity to, to be educated, to be graduating, to be wearing gowns.
What are they graduating in tomorrow?
Pardon me?
What are they graduating in tomorrow?
They're graduating into biblical studies and transformational leadership.
Transformational leadership, biblical studies, and okay.
Biblical studies and transformational leadership.
We will send a reporter along. Thank you.
I will appreciate.
And
Tina, God bless
beloved, but God bless you too.
Can I have my other?
Oh, you want the book back?
And you can have this, have this and,
thank you very much.
Include it into what, let me sign my name at the back of it so that you can.
Me a letter, which I will read.
Yes, you can always put it into what, can I have?
You can borrow that pen, yes. Thank you very much. Well, there you go. That's Dr. Tina Beloved Powerful. That's it. That's your lot. Thanks very much for listening. That's it. Yeah, I know.
All right. Just that it's really funny.
I know we're going to do it now. That's what I'm doing. Shush. That's it. I was going to do this bit and then... That's it. That's your lot. Thanks very much for listening. By the way, you can send me an email if you want, iain.lee, iain.lle@bbc.co.uk. I know it sounds desperate, but please leave nice comments if you've downloaded this from iTunes. It makes me feel warm inside. Or you can listen live every weekday morning between 6 and 9 on BBC's Three Counties Radio. Now...
Catherine's bit.
I'm doing it.
The rap.
We were talking about footballers who play for England should be English. That means John Barnes is from Jamaica. He couldn't play for England. We got talking about New Order, the rap that he did. Catherine Boyle.
She did her rap. She rapped like John Barnes. Do you want to have a listen?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you MC KB2 with the John Barnes rap.
You've got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line. They'll always hit you and hurt you. Defend and attack. There's only one way round, and that's around the back. So catch me if you can, 'cause I'm the England man. And what you're looking at is the master plan. We ain't no hooligans. This ain't a football song. 3 lions on my chest, you know you can't go wrong. Yeah.
That was great.
That was brilliant, wasn't it? All done entirely from memory.
It was fantastic, but it just didn't quite feel right with the northern accent.
you did sound,
Well, I mean, I can't do John Barnes. Maybe you can, Justin.
No, I think I'll leave that one.
Justin, thank you very much indeed. Catherine Boyle, thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
You didn't bring a cup of tea down.
I didn't think that was very rap.
Thanks for listening to this free download from BBC Three Counties Radio, your local radio station for beds, hearts and bucks, on FM, AM, digital radio, and online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.